Welcome back to the channel. Today we are here with a very special guest, JT Orr, and I don't want to give away all this thunder, so I'll let you introduce yourself, my man.
What's up, guys? I'm JT. I've been working with Jacob for the past 6 months, and we just wrapped up our training.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we can kind of get right into it, my man. So tell me a little bit about how things were before we ended up starting working together. Kind of how was your athleticism? How was your strength? How's your body feeling?
Before we started working together, I was kind of bouncing around between programs. Like I tried the 5-star football package, I tried programming for myself, and was kind of just lacked consistency overall. And, I was recovering from ACL surgery and was just not really, to the point that I wanted to be at. And so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, bro. I guess how was that going for you? You kind of mentioned that consistency piece was big, that you were missing that, but how else did you feel like it was going?
It wasn't bad by any means. I was still like in the gym every day. I was still working, just like I said, like not to the level that I wanted to, and I wasn't seeing the progress and everything that I wanted to see.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I guess obviously you decide to work with me, but what kind of stood out in your perspective on obviously seeing me on Instagram that made you interested in the entire thing that I had going on?
So the first thing that really stuck out to me was probably the way that you would explain triphasic, and kind of just like the actual the programming itself. That was something that really I was pretty interested in right off the bat, just like the type of training, and something that it was definitely something I really wanted to try.
Yeah, 100%, my man. I love to see that. So obviously that's a huge piece in the strength portion of what we're doing is that triphasic, and obviously you absolutely blew up from it, and we'll kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
So I guess still looking at that though, I'm sure you had a couple doubts coming into the program. So kind of talk to me a little bit about what those were for you.
My biggest concern going into it was just whether or not I was going to be able to perform everything at the level I wanted to because of my physical health. Obviously, like I said, coming off of um, knee surgery right before I started working with you and stuff, it was like a big question on whether or not I'd actually be able to recover and get healthy and, be at 100%.
I gotcha. Yeah, man, that's obviously something we took into consideration. Obviously, we've been doing a couple more things popping up recently that we've been working through our best with our hamstrings, a little bit with our knees, but that's kind of a part of any intense training to some extent. And
Yeah.
what do you feel, I guess, made you guys jump in anyway, even though you had those doubts?
Like I said, just not really seeing the progress that I wanted. I knew I wanted to, obviously, like I've been grinding for years, and I know what I wanted my goals to be, and I know where I wanted to be at. And at that point, I just wasn't there, and so I knew I just had to switch something up.
100%. I guess looking at back to 6 months ago, the JT 6 months ago, I know it's kind of a long time now. When you came in, what did you feel like you ended up needing to work on the most?
I mean, Obviously, like my physical health was the number one priority, and just being healthy. But and also just building back like that knee specifically. It's like, at the time, um, I was a couple months out of surgery. I had basically lost all of the muscle on my quad. It was just like I was not in very good shape. So
Hmm. I get you, man. So then looking back to when we started looking at day one, week one, what do you feel like that we did right away that kind of was different from your old training or that really helped you out the most?
when we first started training, like that first week when I was doing, tempo for the first time, the
Hmm.
biggest thing that I noticed was just an increase in my mobility. Like as I was, especially with the tempo squats and everything, like I was just it was something that I wasn't really familiar with, and of keeping strength within like all parts of the squat, and like going down slow and everything like that. So it really increased like my mobility. and like how I could probably do a wall sit for like 10 minutes now just because of all that.
Yeah, man. And that, bro, that's hugely underrated, especially when we look at football is a physical like contact sport. We have to be able to be strong in positions that most people can be weak in. You look at a basketball player, they're never really going to have to get in a deep position or things like that. But
Yeah,
as a football player, when you're getting knocked around, you got linemen coming up to you, you better be able to bend your hips and knees, have strength in that position, actually be able to lock out, get off
yeah,
these guys, make a tackle, things like that. So yeah,
for
man,
sure.
I want to see that. Then kind of through these 6 months, looking at obviously the coaching aspect of right me helping you out, having a mentor in your corner. Talk to me about what that experience was like.
I mean, it was amazing for consistency and just overall like getting on the right track right off the bat, and starting with the drinking water every morning, and having to send you a picture of it, and weighing myself every morning and all that stuff, and then just like getting in the gym every day no matter what. Like, I mean, it got to the point where it's like now, like, all of those things that were kind of tough at the beginning are now just part of my daily schedule, just
Yeah,
because I've been doing it for 6 months. Like, I'm used to it now.
yeah. Like, it sounds like almost like an identity shift for you. Like
Yeah,
this whole process, where you say it was like that.
yeah, for sure. Like, it was
Love
like,
it.
I don't even it's kind of trippy, like, to think about just how all of these things that I'm now like consistently doing, like tracking my calories and drinking a bunch of water and weighing myself in the morning and all this stuff that is now just fundamental to me, and I don't even think about that 6 months ago I wasn't doing.
Yeah, man. And that's like honestly, that's the power of like 6 months. Obviously, those things sound really small. It's like drinking water, weighing yourself, tracking calories. Like, who cares about that? Right. And
Yeah,
you look at trying to make it to the next level, make it to play D1 ball, right? It takes what it takes. It's going to take those tiny percentages adding up over months and years. And now when you get to that next level, like, you're going to still have those habits ingrained as we're acting like it's going to continue to compound for you. So I'm really happy with obviously having the identity shift of like, this is how we do things, right? This is what's going to take. And now being able to actually do it on your own. And I haven't had to tell you, man, let's do this. Let's weigh ourselves. Let's drink water. Like,
yeah,
you can do it yourself and you've grown. And that's really what I like to see when I'm coaching my athletes is their personal development of like, yeah, now you're competent. You can do it and you know what you're doing. Obviously, you've seen the results from that.
yeah.
I guess looking through the whole 6 months, kind of tell me, kind of touch on it briefly, but like how you changed as a person, like, and how you felt as a player through this time.
I 100% have changed how I felt as a player. And in terms of changing as a person, I think my mindset when it comes to everything that revolves around just football and training itself has completely shifted. Like, there's so many things that I've learned in the past 6 months, and that, like I said, like now kind of just are part of my you know daily schedule, where it's like now, like, I'm making sure I'm doing I'm drinking this much water before a lift, or trying to and doing like a bunch of other little things to make sure that I have a good lift or a good field session or a good practice that, like I said, like, weren't even really thoughts to me before. Like, I wish I would have had like the knowledge that I have now from the past 6 months my senior year of high school, because I think I could have performed just that much better if I had been taking the little things into account that I'm doing now.
Yeah. And for context, JT is in at a JUCO right now. This is probably a little confusing when people when
Yeah.
you mention senior year of high school. Saying, really, bro, tell me like the actual results, like of kind of where we started and now where we're at. Obviously, in my opinion, is pretty insane, but let the people know, JT.
Yeah, you mean just like the lifting numbers?
Yeah, all the numbers that we crushed.
Yeah, so when I first started with Jake, I was benching about what 260, 265, and then the other week I was ripping like 365, and
Crushing.
then
Crushing.
and then with squat I was coming off surgery, so I was only squatting like 350, and then a couple months ago I was repping 425.
Sweet.
So it's
That's
been
really,
insane.
yeah. That's insane. Like obviously, that's kind of exactly what we were looking for you, bros. Obviously, we thought what made the most sense for the majority of this time was going to be your strength and getting you back. Obviously, trying to get you healthy through a lot of the process. But for that strength piece, bro, we more than crushed it. So I'm really proud of what
Yeah.
you did. And obviously, that's a testament to your type of work. Obviously, there was guidance there, helped you through the process, but you're the one who showed up every day and put in the work and made it happen, bro.
Yes, sir.
I love to see that, dude. So then, like, talk to me about, I guess, what beliefs you had about online training before we got into this.
I mean, I knew that there were going to be some things that were going to be tough. Like obviously, having to film my form was something that was kind of tough to get used to it in the beginning. And it was like, man, it would have been a lot easier to just have a trainer there and they could just watch me and everything. But I mean, the improvements that I was able to make by, like getting critiqued on my form and, trying to get it right the next week was like insane. There were times that you'd like, send me a voice memo and give me a couple tips for my squat or whatever, and then I'd try it the next week and it would be like I'd feel like enlightened, you know. And but no, I mean like obviously like there's still a lot of benefits to online training and there's pros and cons just like everything, but I mean overall it was great to still have the freedom to, be getting in the gym whenever I wanted, not be on necessarily a set schedule of where I have to do this every day, where it's like I could still, be consistent in what I wanted to do.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a huge thing with the whole online training. Like through this process, obviously, you're not at a gym for 5 hours a week with a trainer for 1 hour every
Yeah.
day, but you're on your own time. But then you have access to me whenever you need it throughout the process. And I think that's really valuable, especially for someone kind of in your position where you're mentioning like the identity matters, right? The things outside lifting, like your in-person trainer isn't gonna be able to do a great job. It'd be like, yeah, man, did you do this, this, and this like every day?
Yeah.
Right. And you're paying them hourly, right? They only care about the $60 you're getting in their pocket at the end of the hour.
Yeah.
Right. But we're looking, how do we get you to the outcome that we want? And I'm doing everything I can to help get you there and give you that 24/7 support. I think that's a really underrated piece that people don't know coming in from the outside with this entire online training deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess like looking for kind of at someone else, like what type of player, like person or recruit do you think this would be the right fit for? And then what type do you think it would be the wrong fit for?
I mean, I think for anyone trying to go D1, like it's definitely a great fit. Anyone who's like really just serious about whatever sport they're playing. And, you know, it's for like I said, like for me, like I wish I would have had like the knowledge overall and like the information that I have now, like my senior year of high school. Like my senior year of high school, it's like if I was eating right all year and doing the mobility and the rehab for just every like part of my body that I'm doing now, then I could have avoided injuries and just a lot of regrets looking back on it. But and then I guess for you know, if you're not serious about it, then it's not for you. Or I mean, like maybe if you're like a three sport athlete and you're playing sports and like in season year round, then that's probably might not be the best idea for you if you're that busy. But I mean, if you only play like one or two sports and you're serious about playing college, like just for you.
100%. So you mentioned something I think interesting about the information piece, that if you had like this information when like a year ago or your senior year, things would have been different. I think that's really interesting, bro, because like you look at nowadays, AI is everywhere. You can
Yeah.
go type in chat, Claude, like, yeah, give me a workout plan. And it's going to look nothing like what we did
Yeah.
in all honesty. Um, so I think that's a really interesting piece because a lot of guys say now it's like, man, you can get all the information online, which I do think is true to some extent. But a big piece with this coaching is like, how do we put all that information together for you to actually get you the results? And obviously, we did just that, bro.
Yeah.
So I love to see it. Then I guess what would you say to someone who's like on the fence about joining the program?
I mean, like I said, like if you're really that serious about it, then you got to just go for it. But like, I mean, if you if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. If you don't, then you don't. Like that's all there is to it.
Yeah, and you when we came in, you definitely wanted it bad enough, bro. The story of do you want to bring that up or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you can tell the people obviously you had to invest into this program. Tell me kind of what you decided on doing to get in, bro.
Yeah. So when I first got on a call with Jake, I it was October, and I was planning on leaving for school in January, and I was, I'm not the richest person. I don't come from a super rich family, so I ended up making the decision that I was gonna sell my car and not, bring it with me to school to be able to pay for this training plan and then put the rest towards tuition. And
Yeah.
so for the past, 4 months, I've just been walking everywhere.
Yeah, man. And that takes serious dedication, bro. Obviously, a lot of people aren't willing to give that up. And those are the type of people I want in the program. I'm not saying like making some life altering decision to try to come work with me, but
Yeah.
obviously within your means and working with me, finding an option that works for you, right? We're gonna make it happen. But like the guys who are willing to do what it takes, you literally selling your car and like making it happen to a literal extent is the type of baller I want. And obviously, you came in with the work ethic and have the results to show from it. So I love that, JT.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I still think that's crazy as day. Like I remember talking about that. I was like, man, like this guy's gonna be dedicated. He's gonna get some crazy results if he's making a big sacrifice like that. Um, yeah, man, that's
Yeah. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, man, like that was crazy too. Like,
yeah.
like
Sometimes
sometimes I still can't even believe I did that. Like,
Yeah. Sometimes there's gonna be that fork in the road moment, bro. Fork in
yeah,
the road when you have big goals, and this for really anyone. At some point, you're gonna have to decide: am I gonna do this thing that I know will get me closer to where I want to go, or stay on the comfortable path? We know what JT did, man. We love
yeah.
it. So, then, is there anything else that you want to leave the viewers with here?
I mean, like I really can't emphasize it enough. It's like it just comes down to like how bad you want it. Like if you want it, then you gotta go take it. You gotta make those sacrifices. You gotta go do what you gotta do. And if you don't, then you don't. Like it's whatever. Like playing college football isn't for everybody.
Yeah, nicely said, JT. I mean, percentages. You can find all the percentages. Go look them up, and you'll see there. I think it's 2% D1, like 7% to all divisions.
Yeah,
Like JT
not a
said,
lot.
it's not for everyone. So that's something. What are you going to be willing to do to be in that 7%, even that 2%, to really make it to the next level? Yeah, man. As obviously AI is rampant nowadays. Want to make sure they know this is AI isn't AI. Where can they find you on Instagram, bro?
So you can find me on Instagram just at orr.jt. That's my user.
Yes, sir, man. Love to see it.
And if any of y'all like have any questions about that you want to get like a third, person on, and you have any questions about Jake, like hit me up. I can let you guys know.
Yes, sir, man. Well, JT, I really appreciate you getting on and tell me about your experiences, my man.
Yeah, for sure.